Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. Coming to you guys with an update on my 2021 Ford F-150 PowerBoost. I've gotten a bunch of comments from people asking where it's at, what's going on, and I haven't done an update video because I haven't had an update. My truck now, as of today, marks the 34th consecutive day that it's actually been sitting at the dealership waiting on parts. I actually have initiated the lemon law buyback process, and I've heard nothing since in terms of any communication from Ford, at least on that side of things. Again, today is the 34th consecutive day, 43rd overall day that the truck has been in the shop in 10 months. That's quite a bit. That's almost 14% now of the time that I've owned it being in the shop. Now, what's really frustrating is that they did provide me with this EcoSport as a loaner vehicle, but I do need my truck. It's not just a Home Depot runner for me. I do use it at work for my full-time job. And then here, I actually have now wheels and tires. I've got ramps sitting off camera here. The ramps, I've actually owed that video for quite a while. That was supposed to be something I filmed back in September-ish when I actually came down with COVID. So I was unable to take the trip I was going to do those ramps. So recently that was going to be a video I was going to do, but I don't have the truck, so I can't do it. The wheels and tires, again, can't do it. So while a lot of people will leave comments of like, hey, great, they provided you with a vehicle, sure, I understand that commentary, but just last week I had to spend $800 to rent a truck and trailer combination to haul back the live wire that was sitting here. I had to haul that back to LA, which I would have done with my truck, but I had to out of pocket around $800 just to be able to get that bike back to where it needed to go, which again, I needed my truck for. So not only am I making current truck payments, which I will tell you are significantly more expensive than what I'd be paying if I owned an EcoSport, I'm also expending additional money to rent vehicles to do what I just need to do in general, which is why I bought a truck to begin with. So incredibly infuriating, and basically my truck is down right now because it needs an EGR valve. The EGR valve, I believe, was readily available, but the gaskets and the connectors were not. Those were on back order. Still, apparently are on back order. Don't know when they're coming in. But the problem I have with that is I feel like that narrative is painted in the lens of assuming every customer out there is just an idiot. In the course of my truck sitting at the dealership waiting on these parts, I can actively search dealer inventory and find well over 1,000 trucks that are sitting on lots for sale that have the same EGR valve that I'm waiting on currently to get my truck up and running. So that tells me, as somebody with half a brain, that the parts are available, but they're being allocated to the assembly line to pump out units that they can turn around and sell, as opposed to being put towards allocation for the parts department for people who have already purchased those vehicles. So again, there's a lot of people out there, especially Ford apologists, that will come out and say, well, you know, hey, we're dealing with a parts shortage. I'll buy that narrative if there's not new vehicles to sell, but there are new vehicles to sell. So that to me comes off as a management choice. You know, and maybe for me, it's just something where if I worked for Ford in a management capacity, I would waddle on over to the factory, pull an EGR valve off the line and say, that VIN number, we're not running today because we have a warranty claim, we need this part. So the parts shortage, if it's going to affect anything, should be affecting the vehicles that are rolling down the assembly line, not the vehicles that have already been sold and have warranties that were sold with them. So at this point, I'm just kind of done playing this game of parts shortage. Ford's manual tells you how to store your vehicle for 30 days. And if you do not do this, quote, failure to perform scheduled maintenance as specified in the owner's manual will invalidate warranty coverage on parts affected by the lack of maintenance. Long-term storage may lead to degraded engine performance or failure unless you specific precautions to preserve your vehicle. So then they go on to tell you that the vehicle should be maintained to protect against rust. My truck's been sitting out in the parking lot at the dealership now for over 30 days here in Phoenix sun. We'll get to that in a moment. Move vehicles at least 25 feet every 15 days to lubricate working parts and prevent corrosion. Now, I have the Ford Pass app on my phone, and I have not received any notifications on my phone that the doors have even been opened, aside from when I had to go there to get stuff out of the truck, in which case, when I did, I would get notified that the truck doors were open. So I've received no notifications that the truck's doors have even been opened, let alone started or moved in 25 days. The odometer also has not ticked over in the 30 days it sat there. Change the engine and oil filter prior to storage because a used engine contains contaminants which may cause engine damage. That I can assure you has not been done. Start the engine every 15 days and run for a minimum of 15 minutes. Again, I haven't received any of those notifications, so pretty safe to say it hasn't been done. And then it says to run at fast idle with the climate control set to defrost until the engine reaches normal operating temperature. Well, with the EGR valve being funked up the way that it is, and the truck barely even running right now, it's in a reduced power state, I would probably say that you can't even run it at a fast idle for that duration. Then it goes on to say periodically wash your vehicle. I went out as recent as yesterday, looked at it, things just coated in dust. Clearly hasn't been washed. Cover interior trim to prevent fading. That's what I'm talking about. Arizona, sitting here in the sun. The truck is just parked outside now, baking in the sun, and everything is just left exposed. So all those UV rays right now, my truck is basically taking on Ford required wear and tear, essentially. It's not because it's out of my control. I can't do anything with it. In my garage here or in my driveway, I do have a sunshade that I would pop up. They have not done anything to cover any interior parts. So again, that is actually pretty significant. 30 days of just sitting there in the sun, nothing being run, no air conditioning, anything. So that truck is not great. And then they say additionally, we recommend disconnecting the 12-volt battery, which will reduce system loads on the high voltage battery. Check and recharge as necessary. Keep connections clean. I did notify the dealership that I got a notification that the 12-volt battery was low, and their response was that they'll take a look at it when they pull it back in the shop to do the repairs. That was a couple days ago or whatever it was. And so if you go into the warranty side of things, it says flat out proper maintenance guards against major repair expenses resulting from neglect or inadequate maintenance may help increase the value you receive when you sell or trade in your vehicle. And it is important in allowing your vehicle to comply with applicable emission standards. So what I'm getting at is they put a lot of stuff in these owner's manuals that are probably nonsense, litigious garbage. But I do understand that in doing so, they put it in there because they can turn around and stick it to you, the customer, as saying, well, we told you so. So my point is, if you're going to put it in the manual, you also have to abide by it because you're telling me that if I don't, it's going to affect the value of my vehicle. So if you, the OEM, don't, you are essentially telling me that you're okay with you knowing that it's going to affect the value of the vehicle and not doing the proper things to protect my interest, which is the ultimate long-term value of that vehicle. So with them acknowledging that this can have long-term ramifications for the longevity of the vehicle, that even goes further beyond warranty claims. So sure, if anything breaks over the next few years while it's under warranty, I can take it in and argue that, hey, you guys are the ones that parked this thing longer than what you recommended that it be parked. But once it's out of warranty, well, now I have no rights to go back to the manufacturer for repairs. So basically what they're doing with the vehicle today could have negative ramifications for it after warranty. That's not fair to the consumer. And I'm just coming out here to share with you guys my frustration level. Total bummer. My first time Ford ownership experience has been not great. I am not impressed. This EcoSport, sure, great. It's a set of wheels to get me back and forth to the office, but doesn't do what I need it to do, not only for work, which is why I bought a Ford Tough truck to do what I need to do. And then I got a Ford Turd EcoSport to do a quarter of what I need it to do to just get me back and forth from point A to point B because Ford can't manage their business. That's my perception as a consumer at this point. My goal in buying that truck was a build series, being on the cutting edge with a hybrid powertrain truck and sharing how awesome that platform is because when it's working, it's absolutely amazing. I love that truck when I have it and it works. Right now, there's not a whole lot of love to be had because this is my ownership experience. So I'm not coming to you guys happy that this is the narrative. I had much bigger and better plans with this channel than sharing with you guys how to go through a lemon law process. I've made commitments that unfortunately right now I'm not able to meet. And to my sponsors who are being very patient with this process, I thank you guys very much. Just a total bummer. So that is an update on my 2021 F-150. If Ford comes around and decides to do the right thing, I'll share that with you guys. If Ford decides to go to battle with the lemon law claim, I'll share that with you guys. I'm kind of at the point right now where I'm just trying to go through the process as a normal consumer would. I haven't gotten an attorney involved at this point, and I'm just hoping that Ford sees through all this stuff and realizes that, like, this isn't the way to conduct business if you intend on keeping consumers long term. This has been just brutal. Now, I understand the times we're in, guys. I do get it. But again, if you look at the business as a whole and you see them pumping vehicles out currently, well, at that point, I don't really know how you could sit back and watch it and go, yep, there's just no parts available. Go take one off an inventory unit and choose not to sell that one for a bit until you get your stuff together, I guess. I don't know. So that's where I'm at. That's my update. Currently, if there's any changes, I'll come back and make another video and update you guys where that is. Hopefully some point I get my truck back here and I can continue my love for that truck. That was very much, I, again, love that truck. But what really stinks now is that every time there's ever any spit or sputter out of that truck that may or may not be normal, I'm going to fear the worst. And I kind of, at this point, feel that it's going to be tough to get back in the swing of just normal truck ownership with that specific truck. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted. As always, thank you very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. I will see you guys next time.